Today I bring you this review, Illuminae by Kristoff and Amie Kaufman. I have to say that this is the Spanish edition I read during last month, and I waited so much because we have it published, translated into Spanish, like in April or May. So I managed to buy it in the biggest book fair that we have here in Spain, but I didn't have time to actually read this chunky book. So now that I have time, I want to speak to you about my thoughts. In case you don't know it, Illuminae, it's about two teenagers that are actually about to start uni, Ezra and Kate, who are in a relationship. But at the beginning of the story, one of them breaks up with the other. So they are not in very good terms. But the problem is that their planet is attacked by a company spaceship, battle spaceship. So you are in a futuristic time period where in the planet they live, there's a company kind of exploiting the resources, but the rival of this company decided to take the war into a real level. So they start doing a little bit of a bombing. The rival company bombs the planet, but these two characters, Ezra and Gabi, manage to survive, manage to reach the, let's say, security or safety spaceships that they have. One of them goes to a different spaceship, and everything takes off from there. But the problem is that inside the spaceship there are quite a few things that are not in the right way, like tiny weird stuff, and then things happen in the spaceship that actually are not as clear as they may seem at the beginning. So I understand that this is a very important book that is very hyped, and although I like the book, I give it 3 stars in Goodreads. I find that the hype ruined it a lot for me. I really like it. One of the most incredible elements that I think you can probably see if I open this correctly. So you can see from here, for example, that this story is not told in a normal like storytelling process. This is, I think, an entry of a blog or a diary that is actually part of a cryptid file. So this character that writes this entry scripted the story, so you are, or whatever she's writing, so you have actually like an email kind of, or a document, a Word document file that is scripted, and that's why you see it like that. Or I don't know, here you have sort of a WhatsApp conversation. So here you can see that the actual elements of the story are digital files, or it seems like digital files. I really like this style, although I have to admit that the first part of the book I found it quite tedious to read like that. Maybe because I wasn't engaging enough with the story, or because the way of telling the story was a little bit weird for me, so it took me a little bit to get used to that. But once I surpass or I jump that kind of barrier, I really enjoy the story. In terms of characters, I must say that I identify myself, and I think it's more developed, the character of Ezra than the character of Cady Grant, who is the girl in this couple. Basically, because I find that Ezra's character had more facets, or more interesting background, or more better engaged, kind of better constructed, better built up background, unmixed with her personal current story at the beginning of the story. Kate, however, was a little bit. I was a little bit not connecting with her in the sense that I didn't care of what happened to her for mostly for a really long part of the story, and I feel like that happened because that kind of, I am self-efficient, I'm cold, and I'm like I can be isolated from this tragedy going on. This kind of hard, resistant girl, which is very important in YA. But I found it that she was a copy of, for instance, Katniss Everdeen. I find that she was a replica. I needed more personal stuff to get into her character. Again, I really like her for the last bit of the book, but if we compare both, I think Ezra Shine is more. If we compare both, I think Ezra is more developed. Again, this is my personal opinion. I don't want you to feel offended or anything like that. One of my biggest issues with this is that I am not a very sci-fi person, so every time I have to deal with a sci-fi book, I tend not to believe it. It's very, very like far away from me, so it takes me a while to. It takes me really a long time to engage with the story, to make it believable for me. And this happened with Illuminae, although I find the halfway through the book, the half onwards, more engaging than the first half. And why is this? I know it's a YA book, I know it has to be romance, but I find that this story has kind of a lot of angsty scenes that weren't that necessary, or I didn't find them so engaging. I understand why they are actually present. We need to create this build-up situation for a couple that is broken at the beginning, and they have to go with the things they said to each other previously to the invasion or previously to the attack. But I think that it was more interesting other bits of the story that were intertwined with that element. I don't know, like the weird things that are happening on the spaceships. They were in between those moments, but so I was finding myself actually skipping the drama parts to get to know the mysterious parts. And I think that for me, if they just reduce the level of angsty for a little bit, I think it would be perfect. One thing that I love really well is that when they have to deal with the technological elements, such as the Aiden, you have this kind of moral concept of an artificial intelligence is really intelligent, or we make it that way. Are they alive? They can be alive, or it's just a robot that is out to our kind of service. I love that dilemma. I thought it was very, very well created, and I have to admit that I love the political intrigues within the spaceships. Lastly, I must say that even though my review seems a little bit hard, I consider both authors did a really good job, and I understand why it's so important. I give it 3 stars because I consider those mystery and political elements better and very well developed. The tension was very well. Delivered. I think it was good. However, I think they could exploit more things instead of recreating themselves in the drama. So that's why, even though I really like Illuminae, I don't feel the need of going for Gemini, at least for now. Have you read it? You are allowed to not agree with me, so I would love to hear your thoughts on the book. And please, maybe you discover something else that I haven't seen and you make me feel more positive about reading Gemini. I hope you had a really good week, and if you want to participate, don't forget that you have your comment section over here, so you can click like or subscribe or leave a comment down below. Goodbye!